So we're down on the farm with Alice of Shimpling Park Farm. Can't wait to introduce you all to everyone. Alice, good to see you. Now, we can't get any more revealing than this with you on the farm.
No, I'm right here. And in fact, what I was going to do, if you don't mind, I'm hiding behind the hedge because I know they'll run away when I see them. But I wondered if you want to just start this by coming to see my sheep.
Love
some of them.
Yeah,
okay, right,
come on.
Here they are. These are some of my lovely. It's very, very hot here. So they're gathering round in the shade and by the water butt and having a really good long drink. So these are our lambs. And you can see that I'm afraid they are panting a bit. It really is very hot here today.
It is.
And they were born... Hello, everybody. These are New Zealand Romney ewes. So they are the Romney Marsh breed, but with a bit of a New Zealand genetics in. We chose to have these. So we are a completely organic flock over here in Shimpling. And we went into livestock in about 2014. Before then, we didn't have any livestock, but we wanted them to add to the nutrition of our soils. So we were in a lovely position of being able to choose what sheep we wanted. So we chose a breed which was resilient in an outdoor system, which is a system, I'll tell you more about our system in a minute, and was an easy to lamb, so they can do it by themselves, who live outdoors all year. And then actually we whittled it down to 3 breeds, and then a bit like Tinder, actually, we decided which one was the prettiest, and we chose that. Which is all the wrong reasons, isn't it? But
no.
they are so resilient and they're so lovely. Sorry, they're going to wander around because they're not really tame. They live outside, unassisted, as much of the time as they can. Obviously, if there's a problem, we bring them in. Can you see them there?
Oh, it looks brilliant, Alice. Yeah, it's lovely.
So our system is, so this lot were born from the beginning of April. So we put the ram in with them, and it's a New Zealand Romney ram. He goes in on just after bonfire night, and then he comes out, and these are born in April. So they're pretty firm, bouncing looking babies at the moment. And mums have got this very long stapled wool. We will be shearing this. I forgot what date we booked in, middle of June. I'm sort of tempted to go earlier, but it won't have risen, the wool, so it won't have the lanolin won't be in the right place, so it won't shear well. So we have to wait, and they're going to have to put up with this heat, poor things. But they do have flowing, running, delicious water, and they drink an enormous amount because obviously they're lactating. And then that will, and this year we might also shear our lambs, but that's a bit of a treat for 2027. I've got an idea for you, Stuart. I've had a thinking about it. They are bonny, so our system is completely outside. So this field is a grass and clover lay. So it is 1 in 5 years in our field. Can you just see that little bit of clover down there?
It looks lovely,
This is a Persian clover there. Can you see?
Yeah, wow.
And once in 5 years, these fields rest. They have a year in a grass and clover lay just to fix the fertility, because obviously we don't, being organic, put on any synthetic or artificial fertilizer. So we graze the sheep on those bits, and we use these leguminous plants, these lovely clovers, traditional red clover there.
Oh, look at that, to
feed the soil with their nitrogen-fixing nodules. So this is the backbone of the fertility to grow our organic crops in. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh. It's wonderful to see them. I know I came to you when we picked up the yarn in the first place. Tell us what you said you've had the sheep since 2014 on the land. What have you normally done in the past with the fleeces once you've sheared them?
Well, it sounds awful, Stuart. There was no money in wool for a long time. So obviously I'm very, very new, and I am not the shepherd, I hasten to add. I'm just married to the farmer who realised that we had a fertility gap and felt that organically we should try livestock. So I'm coming at it really, really new. So the thing I inherited is that we bagged it all up and off it went to the British Wool Board.
Yes, that's what most farmers are doing, aren't they?
The market price, And obviously there was a real difficulty. Hello, you little one. Look at you.
That's an amazing close-up.
They're off. I'll turn it round now so they can carry on drinking without me disturbing them. Okay. I'm going to come in the shade of it. It really is boilingly hot. Anyway, so and actually during COVID it got even worse. So gets picked up on a lorry and goes off to the British Wool Board. You get paid a year in arrears. And then there was no wool being sold because I asked the guy why not, and he said, well, no cruise ships, no carpets. And I'd never thought about the bizarre thing about COVID, which is that, of course, cruise ships have new wool carpets every year, and if there are no cruise ships, there are no carpets. So we had this enormous down, but it's wonderfully, it's picked up. And then I met you, Stuart. So this is my first foray. I do know how to wash my own fleeces, and I do use a spinning wheel, but very, very badly. But this is the first time I've commercially sent some off to be spun by the Natural Fibre Company, who have been absolutely wonderful. So and also my husband wants a jumper. It's his life dream to have a jumper.
And we're gonna get him that too.
Come in. You and I went through our bags of fleeces, and I picked out the best 45. I sort of worked out about 15 fleeces. It's about roughly 3 kilos of fleece, 3 or 4 kilos. So we picked out 15 fleeces weighing about 45 kilos. Then I had to post them to the south coast where they were going to be spun and cleaned. Which was quite comical. So I got a bin bag and a hoover and sucked it out and then put it in a box and sat on the box. And then, of course, it started inflating, and then it blew me off the box. This went on for about half an hour. It was very, very funny. I've got to think of a better way. But it went off to the Natural Fibre Company. Then they clean it, they card it. And obviously, because I'd not done it before, doing it again, I'd know I would pick out the fleeces on the day of shearing. Going forward, Stuart, I've got some ideas, but some really exciting ones. So I see this as dipping our toe in here. So that came out at about 25 kilos of finished wool from 45 kilos of original wool, original fleece.
And in those bags that we've got of all the hanks, it's just shy of 200, I want to say. Is that right? About 180 odd hanks we've got?
More, 25 kilos, 100 gram hanks, 250 hanks. Yeah.
We've never had that many. That is going to be amazing. And each year our collection has sold out. So now we've almost got double. Alice, that's going to be phenomenal.
Well, can you make sure you hang on to some for John? So my husband, John, at Shimpling Park Farm, he is so excited about this blue jumper you're going to make for him, Stuart.
Irene,
I promise you.
Our master knitter, she's on the tank top. I've dyed it already. I'm going to be showing the viewers after we finish our chat what the finished yarn looks like dyed up.
Oh, great.
And it's wonderful. And as you say, it's the first time we've gone with the Natural Fibre Company. And that was a bit intimidating for me because they are a huge spinning company, one of the most renowned in the UK for spinning yarn. But as you said, they were brilliant. They guide us through step by step, and they were great with all our questions, weren't they?
Well, they were absolute joy to deal with. I mean, literally down to how do I get this enormous thing into a box and the Hoover job. But no, they were really great because it was questions. There are all sorts of processes, and it's a complex process. I mean, like I say, I have done my own, but you'd never want to knit with anything I spun, and it took me about 45 years. But they're very, very patient because there are various processes in cleaning. They were also very swift, and they kept you in the picture. I really, really liked working with them. So for me, as a farmer, or as a farmer's wife, so often on what we are mainly an arable farm, the sheep came in to complement our organic rotation. And so on an arable farm, very often we don't have any contact with our finished user. Oh. Does that make sense? And one of the great things about having sheep at all for me was I do sell lamb direct, and I can send it all around the country. When it's in season, it's only when we have it. And I send it to my local butchers and to my local restaurants. That is the most viscerally exciting thing. So now to have the wool element, it feels that connection between what we're doing on the farm and why we're doing it. I really adore having the contact with people using it, not a kind of middleman or a factory or a supermarket.
And more importantly, you're, as the farmer, are getting the proper price for the wool rather than being, how the Wool Marketing Board or the British Wool do it. And I understand why they do it. It just doesn't ever feel fair. Whereas this way, you get a proper mark for your price.
Yeah, can I just say something, Stuart? You have been a joy to deal with because, I didn't know, so I had to go through the process. But also, like you say, you're paying a proper price for it. And otherwise I send it off. I've got no idea where it goes. I've got no idea about the control of what's going to happen to it and what I'm going to be paid for it. So it becomes, shearing is a big job. It's and it's an expensive job. And where we are, there's an interesting thing about climate change here. Being organic, we, obviously we try we use no prophylactic treatments of any kind. However, in a hot year like this, on a lowland system where we are with a long wool sheep, you have to watch out for flies. So I'm trying to look for ways of not getting any fly on my sheep. So actually having an interaction and a purpose for the shearing will almost bring me to shearing twice because I can afford to.
Yeah.
So for the welfare of the sheep and the promotion of the organic system, I think that's a quite exciting prospect.
Yeah.
And I thank you, Stuart, for not quibbling and not trying to do it to you. I thank you and your are they customers? Are they colleagues? Are they colleagues?
They're everything. Customers, they're viewers on YouTube. They're the ones that invest in Lavenham Blue, and they love that traceability and that full, almost transparency too. They love it.
Well, I'm really grateful to you because you are completing a circle, which has taken me quite a long time to build up, and I feel this is This is a big moment, having that last chink in the circle.
Yeah. Before we finish, I know your role at the farm is very much this educational background. Just tell us more about that for our viewers.
Okay, I now have my son working with me, which is lovely. So my husband and my son are running all the arable stuff, and we have lovely Emily, the shepherdess. And then I do the bits that nobody else wants to do. A lot of people will recognise this in their lives, I think. But we have the most wonderful old Victorian model farmyard, which we converted, and we have a lot of school visits, and we have a lot of weddings. It's very, very pretty. This beautiful glowing red brick, which would have been this old winnowing barn, is now a dining restaurant for dining room for pop-up restaurants and for conferences that people come and learn things. And I'm hoping, Stuart, we might perhaps do a woolly talk with you at some point.
Oh, it would be lovely. And tell us about your baker, because I know I want to do something with your baker too.
Oh, yeah. Right. So there's one actually I'm going to tell you. So next week, it's culminating. We're doing an event next Saturday. It's called Soil to Feast. If you just type that into Google, it comes up. Where I'm trying to bring together my experience of having school children visit the farm with all ages. And everyone that comes is going to go off and do an hour of soil science in a soil pit with microscopes and headphones, and an hour with my husband John running around the rotation with a guy called Josiah Meldrum from Hodmadods, who's pioneering the consuming of British pulses as an alternative protein.
Wow.
And then an hour in the kitchen with Jamie Oliver's ex-head chef called Tom Walker from the Hackney School of Food, and cooking everything, and everyone's going to eat it all together. So we're doing some slightly mad events, so you can look that one up for fun, Soil to Feast.
Oh, it's just wonderful.
And I have on site, so where the sheep circle is being very much completed with you and your community, I have on site Dominic Biddle from Biddle's Bread, who is a sourdough baker, and he bakes organic sourdough for our local markets and
it's wonderful.
For weddings and things that we have here. And quite often he uses our flour that my son has grown and harvested and is milled in my little tiny mill, which I've had for a long time, which is next to the grain store, and baked in the farm barns. So we have on two sides of the farm, we have these lovely completed circles. So if anybody wants to kind of join our mailing list, I only get to those about once a year, or follow us on YouTube or on Instagram. Yeah. And what I do once a month is I post a little video on YouTube of what we're doing to show the variety of what happens on a farm when you've got all these diversifications.
You are absolutely brilliant. You have inspired me even more and got me excited about things to come, because it is wonderful. Those sheep are wonderful. Wool is wonderful. You can do so much with it, and I can't wait for our viewers, our customers, to get their hands on the 2026 collection from Shimpling Park Farm. Absolute pleasure.
I'm gonna page this out by showing you my favourite lamb, who's somehow got this mad full patch on his eye. Can you see?
Go a bit lower. Oh, I do. The little black patch. Oh, he just disappeared. We got him. We got him though.
Funny little spot on his face. Anyway.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
It's been wonderful, Alice. Thank you very much for your time, and I can't wait to come over in a couple of weeks, or no, probably next week, to pick up more and to perhaps show you the finished colour too.
And can I ask you something? I would love if any of your viewers knit with it and feel anything. Please send me some pictures. If you go online, just my email's there, alice@shimplingparkfarm.co.uk. I would be lovely to see anything and any response people have to it. I'm very excited.
We'll do that. Cheers, Alice. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.